All right, we just finished up the Snake River Standoff. We're doing our first mobile podcast in the mobile podcast studio, and in Zach's Chevy Silverado. It is dark green, and it does not have a Go Fast camper on it. But yeah, we're just finishing up the Snake River Standoff, and we had an interesting day. We came off of yesterday with some heavy winds, a little less winds today, but pretty darn hard. We're going to kick this straight off to Brent Wood in the back seat there. How you feeling today, Brent?
Not good.
Well, tell us about it, man. Give us expound on that a little bit.
Kind of fell apart today. Some mental errors. Main thing.
Mostly mental errors. Yep.
What I do, all timed out. I guess that ain't mental, but.
Which was the timeout stage?
That long range one.
Oh yeah, that was
set up behind the bush. I didn't realize it. I didn't go look it over beforehand. Proned out down there, and you get halfway through it, and you can't see through a tree. And you get up, move over, and you still can't see through it. So you get up, move over again.
That's a really good tip on stage. Go look at your targets from the actual shoot position, not just from wherever you set up your tripod. Because it is wild. You get right from the shoot point. Your landmarks sometimes change, or they're hidden by a tree. Because definitely when I laid down on that stage, all of a sudden there was a tree there blocking the furthest target, which I was not planning for. But fortunately, I made it through on time. But what should we go by stage? Who's got the course of fire on him?
I got it over here.
Oh, Zach's got one. Okay.
Yeah, here, I'll take that. We'll go. So yesterday we ended on stage 1, and it was, with the exception of Brent, the rest of us I don't think had an excellent stage on that. So we're not feeling good at the end of the day yesterday, but we went on the stage 2 today. We started on stage 2. And I'm going to turn up my volume a little bit here. But stage 2 is from the gaps. This was a little interesting stage. There was 3 shoot positions. 2 of them were at the top of a rock, and the middle position was in a gap between rocks. And remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah, and you had T1, T2, so you had 2 shots close, 2 shots far, and then you moved to that gap, and it's 2 shots far, 2 shots near. But the funny thing about this, they were not far. They're 346 and 383, but they were steep up a hill. It was at least 10 degrees.
Yeah.
And I think I shot close to last on this, and I right away started noticing there was some elevation. People were hitting high on stuff.
Right away, your anger just boiled over.
Dude,
you threw Seth's bag against the sharpest rock you could find.
Should
detonated it.
I'll go. I think I was close to ending the stage.
You were definitely towards the back end.
Yeah, everybody else shot single bag on the first and third position. Middle position, I think everybody did a tall bipod.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't feeling the tall bipod, and I had a feeling that the old tripod, if I kind of guessed at the setup, because they let you pre-deploy, but you can't go set it in a position. So I pre-set up the tripod, my best guess, and when I got started, I kind of set my tripod at position 2 and then went to position 1, shot that. And then while I was moving to my tripod, I gave Seth's +1 game changer a pretty good huck.
Yeah, was it that same one that I said was my favorite piece of gear at the beginning of this podcast?
That was yesterday's podcast. Yeah.
Okay,
So I gave it a huck.
Yeah.
And that thing weighs 12 pounds. And when it hit the ground, it came apart.
Yeah.
Big hole. It's on the injured reserve list right now.
Yeah, I didn't feel great about that. Started off the day destroying Seth's game changer +1.
That's okay.
But I did clean the stage, so I was stoked on it.
Yeah.
I went good.
Yeah.
But we had to set your bag aside for the rest of the day. How'd the rest of you do?
I didn't get it. I think I got like a 5 on it. I dropped a lot of shots because of elevation. I shot second or third on that one, I think. And so, yeah, it just took me a little bit to figure out what was going on, but I had some elevation issues there.
Yeah, you're trending high, I remember.
Yep.
That's one thing. Like, I put the 10 degree, instead of doing the angle compensation on the rangefinder, I personally like to do the line of sight and then put the angle up in, and it trended me down a 1/10 on all of them. And I feel like my dope was pretty good, but you never know. Yep. That's just what I did there. Yep. Part of it was observing other shooters and missing high. So
yep.
Yeah,
that was the right move for sure.
Yeah, Brent. One thing of note from this match, Brent is the only left-handed shooter in the whole match, maybe, because they set all these stages up for right-hand shooters, and then when Brent gets into some of these positions, it's not great for a lefty.
No.
I didn't feel too hindered though.
No?
No, I don't. It was a little uncomfortable, but positions were solid.
I was impressed with you on that one because you basically have to put your gun right up against the left side of it. I don't even know how you're running your bolt. It was because it pushed you tight against that big rock in the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you do there, Zach?
I dropped one.
Oh, that's good.
I did pretty good. I fiddled twice with my bipod in the center there. I went too tall, and then I brought it down and I was still too tall. And then I don't know. I thought the last shot was questionable on time, but he gave it to me because I don't know if I was just confused because it's first stage of the day, but I swear my 7-second, my final beep went off when I was putting my bag on that last target. So
Oh yeah.
and I was going fast, but I felt like it was I wasn't going to get both of them off. I don't know. I just shot both of them, and he
gave it to you. Yep.
I had no idea. I wasn't the official timer. All I know is I shot him and I hit him, and he gave him to me. And I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Sometimes those type of things normally balance out at the end of the day. But yeah, that was a fun stage to start on. The wind was light. And then, we went to a confirmation stage. That was a modified prone off a big old rock.
Yeah,
and
that's lame.
This one, there was a very, very small horizontal rectangle at 460 yards. And then at 788, there was a horizontal rectangle, a little bit bigger, and then a vertical rectangle. And this one was interesting. You started at the near rectangle, yeah?
Yep.
And then you went to the far horizontal and then back to the near, and then to the far vertical, back to the near. And that one was easy to get confused on.
Yep.
On which one you're at.
Yep. I several times I did the same thing you did. I had to mentally go back and take the picture or review the picture in my mind when I'd shot the last target. It was it the horizontal or vertical? And I still didn't. I kind of knew, but it was a little bit of question in my mind whether I was doing the right thing or not. But it's tough to keep track of. It doesn't seem like it would be, but it is.
Oh, it was, man, because the way it's written in the course of fire, it's like you're going to go far, you're going to go near and then far left and then near and far right. But the thing is, they're right next to each other.
Right next
and
to each
so
other.
every time you go back out far, it's like, man, which one did I shoot last time? Because it's the opposite now, for sure. That was
but the nice was one was horizontal, one was vertical. So you had a little bit of differentiation between the two. You just had to remember where you were at the last time you were there.
If your dope was dialed, those horizontals are super easy.
Yeah.
But the verticals you don't get a whole lot of play on. And
I like today when they put the horizontal and the verticals. I just feel like maybe for stupid people like me, it allows you to think about your left and right and your vertical.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to really think about one or the other.
The other axis, you have some forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice, I thought.
But no forgiveness on whichever horizontal. No space on memory card.
Ah.
Are we going to do audio or I got here.
I can just swap the cards.
Here. Oh, just in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we?
Sorry,
there's going to be a black space.
Yeah.
There's going to be black space in this because.
Well, no, you'll just cut it on the video.
Okay.
They're not going to miss anything important.
That's
We'll
what I'm
bring
saying.
them back up to speed when she comes back. I don't know what the battery status on that one in there is, but it'll probably make it through.
Yeah, we'll be okay. I'm going to have to think about how you had this set up because you were pretty money.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good. It's like you've done that a few times.
And we're back. Yeah. What's up, boys?
Yeah, I film all the time in here, but I'm just alone,
Yeah, we're big.
Okay.
Mobile
We're back.
film guys.
For people on the YouTubes, we had a temporary malfunction of the memory cards.
But yeah, we're rolling again.
Just like stage number 3, I had some temporary malfunctions.
What'd you shoot on that stage?
I think I got a 5.
Oh.
I fogged up my trigger cam to start. Then I fiddled with my bipod. Then my hearing pro died, and I tried to turn it back on.
Oh, dude.
And I timed out.
I was so
Maybe I got a 7. I don't think I got a 5. I think I got a 7, but
when I got done shooting, you're like, "Did you fog up your scope too?" I was like, "No. Why did you fog up your scope? What were you doing?"
I just heavy breathing.
Oh, got you going.
It was early in the day. I had a bunch of adrenaline coming off the first stage of the day because it's the first stage of the day, and I just heavy breathe. Brett did it too, I think.
Oh, I shot 4 targets before I decided to breathe.
Nice. All right. So now we're on the stage 4, and I'm going to tell you guys, this is the stage that Zach came for. This is the funnest stage that we've ever shot. Zach came just to shoot this stage. It's 10 rounds, 2 minutes, and you start out. There's a single rock, and you're shooting straight to the west at 280 yards, and then you go up 20 degrees up this cliff. It's, I don't know, how tall is the cliff, would you say?
Couple 100 feet
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, at least a couple 100-foot cliff. So you shoot at the IPSC at the top of the cliff, and then you spin 180 degrees and go straight to the east. And you shoot at the top of that cliff, 466 yards, about 20 degrees again, and then back to the kind of lower down the canyon, 386 yards, and then you spin again. And you do it. You kind of do this circle, and it's a super cool, very unique stage. It takes a very unique range to be able to put a stage like this on. And
yeah, it's like the coolest stage of the whole match.
Coolest stage. And Zach came exclusively to shoot this
To
stage.
clean it.
And he had a whole day and a quarter to get prepped and ready to like crush it on this stage. And yeah, how'd it go, Zach?
I don't know. Look at my score sheet. I think I got a 5 or a 6 or something.
Let me see. What'd you get? What stage is that? That's 4. 6. Damn it. Not great.
Not great.
You had fun though?
I didn't even get the last 2 shots off, I don't think. I shot my 9th shot with the wrong dope because I was running out of time. I couldn't understand my card. I just put it on it and shot. I went high.
Zach was amping after that stage, dude. He's normally pretty cool, calm, and collected. And
sometimes I need a bad one to like just lock me back in and piss me off. It's kind of like when we're out, like when I power hike.
Oh yeah, when you you power hike yourself happy again, from angry to happy.
I needed a bad stage to get.
You didn't have anywhere to hike here though. How'd this go for you, Seth? I think you cleaned it.
My problem was Seth was smooth as butter. I think he had like 20 seconds left or something, and I was like, okay, this will be no problem, and then I just bumbled it.
Yeah, I cleaned that. I was the first one to go on that stage, and I cleaned it.
Yep. Oh yeah,
that was the second. So on the stage before that, I cleaned 5 stages in a row today, starting with the last stage, and that was the second one. So
brag much, bud?
No, well, I was trying to catch up to you guys. You guys still beat me. I was on pace to make up what I lost yesterday, but I gave that up in a few spots. So anyway, I just had to mention it. Yeah, I am bragging a little bit. Did you clean 5 stages in a row?
I don't know that I did.
There you go.
You cleaned 5 stages in a row?
In a row, yep.
When?
Well, today. Starting with stage 3. And
Dang.
So I cleaned 3, 4, 5, and 6.
That's
and
good.
7,
Good
I
job.
think.
That is bragging.
Yeah,
that's
7.
Pretty awesome,
Yep.
dude.
3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
That's why I thought you won, dude. I just remembered that 5-stage run.
I know, and I thought I was really going to catch up to you guys, but yeah. Anyway, we'll get to the mistakes later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Brent, how'd you do on this one?
7.
How'd you feel about it? Did you like the stage?
Yeah. I wrote my dope wrong. Went dialed, kind of fell apart. But I was happy with 7. Didn't time out, but
Here's the thing I'll say about this match is like there's a lot to digest when you come up to each stage.
Yeah.
There's very tricky target engagement orders on top of trying to figure out what type of crazy thing the wind's going to do next. And I feel like if you don't go into every stage with a fully fresh mind, ready to like really like think about it, that's how you set, at least for me, like that's when I set myself up for a tough stage.
Yep.
But sometimes you can think about it too much.
Yeah.
If you just walked up there with a single bag on pretty much all these stages, you'd probably be okay.
You'd probably be okay, but
I mean, there is some good strategy, but sometimes I feel like
getting dope right, right?
Yeah.
There's like because you're
dope right is part,
like, and it does like Coriolis effect. Does it matter at 400 yards? Not really. But when you also add 10 degrees of inclination in, and you throw some aerodynamic jump in on top of it, well now, sometimes those variables will counteract each other, and sometimes they stack.
Yep.
And that's where it's like. This match is like when they're stacking, you better make sure you're accounting for it to make sure your dope's right. Because there was some very narrow width and short in height targets today.
Well, so the problem is Jared's sitting next to Zach, Zach's sitting next to Jared, And Zach just said he thinks you can think too much about stuff, and I don't think you should ever say that around Jared, because Jared's like, no, you do all the thinking all the time, everywhere you go.
You just make decisions, and it has to be based off good thinking and decision. Except for if you're shooting, thinkings aren't thoughts or something like that. What's Joel say?
He has
He says something along the lines like thoughts aren't thinking.
Yes, that's true.
I'm probably saying it wrong. You're gonna mess a bunch of people up, so ignore that.
When he asks people if they're gonna do something, then they say, "I think."
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Don't think,
do."
Oh,
Yeah. There is no try. There's only do.
Yeah.
That's mine. Seth's heard that from me a couple times.
And actually, it works really good. It's a very it's a great way to make you go, oh man, I've been procrastinating about that thing for a long time. So
I'll tell you guys, like any success that I have in life and shooting or anything like that is just like you just make a decision and do it. And sometimes it's easier said than done. But if you just make a decision and do that thing, probably have some success.
Yep.
I think, did we all clean the next stage?
Biggest small troop line. That was there's the array 1 at 400 yards, big small. Array 2 at 488, big small. And then there's a far circle at 405. And then you reverse order from the second position. Did you clean it?
I cleaned it.
I cleaned it. You cleaned it.
How about you, Brent?
Nope.
Oh.
What? Talk to us. What
I'm
happened?
trying to remember. Let's see here. What is that one?
That was
big
stage
circle,
5.
little circle, I
Stage
think.
5.
Yeah.
Big, little, and then a single.
No.
There's 2 rocks.
I didn't write my score down.
I remember there was an elevation thing happening on one. I can't remember which target. I think you're trending low on the middle
I
targets.
did good going out, and then I missed the far single.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think it was just, it felt like a good one, but it went off left.
Gotcha.
And it was not wind that did it. So I made a correction off of it, and it was not right.
Yeah, you started holding right wind when you actually needed to hold just a touch left, I think.
Yeah. Something happened on a shot, didn't go right, and I made the wrong correction, but I got back on targets towards the end. So I must have dropped 4 on that. I'm thinking maybe 3 at least.
The thing that was really interesting about today in general is the wind was coming either over our left shoulder or right shoulder, but it depending on what distance and where you were aiming in the can, we're shooting to the east. You didn't know if you're holding left to right or right to left a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And from shot to shot, shooter to shooter, like you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting one. Another thing that I like about this match is there's a lot of times that I'm tempted to use a tripod rear on those single bag ones, but there's just just the nature of the terrain. You're not going to be able to fit it, or you're going to fight with it and you know you're going to time out. It gives you a lot of confidence after this match. Like, dude, I can single bag everything.
Yep. 100%. Right?
Unless you throw Seth's game changer and it explodes, but otherwise you can single bag it.
Luckily, Brent had a backup, and so and I have a fresh, brand new one at home waiting to get put into service. So
thank God, dude. I apologize again.
You're good.
I think I stopped borrowing bags at some point after that because I was like, I don't want to grenade a second bag. I'll just use my own bag. It's not awesome. All right, this is I'm gonna say it. I had a come apart on stage 6. It was the diamonds. I was not
lock
happy.
time, dude.
I don't think that I yelled.
When are you gonna bring up your?
We'll get there right now. This is a good place for it. So,
Jared had a revelation today.
So I am extremely bipolar at matches. When I'm shooting well, I'm having a good time, I'm laughing and smiling and talking a lot. And when I don't shoot good, I get quiet. Sometimes I get mad, or sometimes it comes out in words, but most of the time I get quiet. So I got quiet after this one, and this was called Simple Plan. What was the positions? 2 positions?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so 2 positions. This was actually kind of a cool stage. There's a diamond at 666, 711, and 777. So you start from the left position, you went right, middle left, middle right, 1 shot each, and then you went to the right position, and you went left, middle, right, middle, left.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared's hard on gear, especially when he uses Nipex pliers to take apart his bolt. All my complaining I did yesterday, turns out, there's Nipex pliers have a Rockwell rating of 1,000, and they don't do great on caulking pieces of actions. So buy the tool. I think it's about $10. Don't use your $50 Nipex pliers to take your bolt apart, because what I experienced yesterday and today with the moon dust, and it gets into the little grooves that I created in the caulking piece. And then I started having hang fire-y shots where sometimes it would creep, break. Other times it would creep, break. Other times it would just break. And sometimes I'd get creep, break. And there was some funny shots that happened. And I only dropped 3 on this stage, but man, I was not happy about it because I felt like I should have cleaned it. But yeah,
I cleaned that one. Yeah.
Me too.
And I remember asking you as you walked by, I asked you a question and you didn't even like look my way. You were just mad. You were not happy.
I answered in my head, but I may not have come out of my mouth because I was so, again, when I get angry, I get quiet sometimes.
It's all right.
And I was not mad at anybody else except for myself because I chose to use the Nipex plier. That's when it clicked. We were trying to figure out what's going on with my gun. Well, I was trying to figure it out. The other guys, they were wondering why I was so grouchy about stuff. And then it was on that stage. It kind of clicked. It was the Nipex pliers causing issues in the front of my caulking piece that interfaces with the trigger. And that is what caused the gritty break, which wasn't awesome. So don't do that. Again, buy the right tool.
Yep.
Don't do what I do.
Well, and I think it's one of those things like, because we had like quite a bit of conversation the day before about the issues we're having. And I think there's a lot of processes, anything like bow hunting or shooting rifles, or anytime you're using a piece of equipment, there's little nuances that happen in your process compared to mine. And so when you're looking for advice from people, sometimes there's just unexplained things or things you're not thinking of. And so just successes in the details, and those little tiny things do matter. And, sometimes you just got to figure out what it is that's causing, and sometimes it's a equipment issue. Sometimes it's a process issue. You just have to figure out which one it is.
Seth is doing a really good job of being nice and not telling me I'm an idiot for using the Nipex pliers. Like he's like, oh, your process and all that. He's saying, hey, dummy, buy the $10 tool. Stop using your Nipex on your bolt. Is that fair?
Sure. But I mean, yeah. But I am a nice guy.
Yeah, so good learning lesson for me. I won't be using Nipex anymore unless I don't have that tool, which I still don't have. So I'll probably still use it, but I might wrap some electrical tape on the end of the jaws.
Good idea.
I might do that.
Yeah.
But don't do what I do. Get the right tool.
What you should do is call some Chinese manufacturer and have them make you a special pair of pliers that don't make marks in the
That'd be sweet. Piece. Or I'll just buy the $10 tool. Yeah. But yeah, so everybody else cleaned the stage, and that's why I was feeling terrible about myself because I dropped 3. Yeah, I was mad at myself, but as soon as like refresh, went to the next stage. The Doan Dilemma is the name of it. This is one of those ones where I get inspired by Brian and Seth. They're just creative and target engagement order. There's 3 positions.
Dude, you should do this stage and 3-4.
Dude.
Absolutely.
Just a wreck.
Yes.
I don't know. You guys comment in the comment down below and let me know if you would like to see this. If you're shooting the match, you let me know if you'd like to see this. I'm going to read this course of fire
down below. What if they're listening and there's no?
There's comments on all the things. There's comments on Apple, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Or you can just hit us with a message. Hit Zach with a message.
Yeah, hit me with a message.
Tell him how much you want this stage or not.
Then I'll tell Jared.
And he'll tell me.
I already told him, but I'll tell him again.
Okay, so 3 positions. You start on the left rock, getting your single bag in. Left rock, center rock, right rock. From position 1, and here's the distances. 360, 323, 301, 286. They're all the same kind of general vicinity. But there's enough between them and they're little poppers where you're going to want to dial. Mm-hmm. I didn't see anybody holding over.
No.
Did you? Yeah, they're just small enough little poppers where you want to dial. So position 1, you're going to shoot target X, S, H, E. Then you go to position 2, S, 1 shot each, S, H, X, E. And then position 3, H, X, S, E. And so there's 3 targets on the right, and you're going to shoot 1, 2, 3, and then end at E. And then the next position, you're going to go the middle, right, left, end at E. And then the third position, right, left, middle, end at E. It ended up, like, once you kind of put it in your head, it wasn't that hard.
No.
It was because the alphabetical letter, or the alphabetical.
Yes. The
letters.
Yeah, the letters on for the targets.
My brain's fried from that. It made it super confusing, but it really wasn't if you understood the sequence.
For sure. Once you got into it, it was not bad. But I'm interested to see, like at a club match, if this would go over well or not. I think it's really good for challenging your mental, just stress and ability. Knowing, like memorizing the course of fire and then executing it when you're under pressure. But yeah, it might, for a club match, it might be a bit too far, but if you guys are interested, let me know and I'll throw it in. How'd you guys do there?
Cleaned it.
We already know Seth cleaned freaking 1 million in a row. Let's hear from Brent. Here's something different than a clean. Did you get a clean?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. You cleaned it too.
This was the stage I was dreading the most, though.
Was it?
Till I thought about it a little bit.
Dude.
So I think I was almost the last shooter in the squad. So I sat there with the Beanos and just went through it, back and forth, spotting shots.
Yep.
Yeah, you just had it memorized. And then I got up there to shoot and couldn't remember. So God dang it.
It was actually pretty easy because if you just got rid of the last shot on each sequence,
yep,
it was always left or right, and it started left. So the first sequence was left to right from the left. The second sequence was left right from the middle. So middle, right, and then back. And then the last sequence was started away at the right, but then it was always left or right.
Yep. Yeah, you're trying, and then you just end on E.
And then you always ended on E. That's how I thought about it.
Yep. And this one, I've went first on this stage, and man, that dang Mirage today, I could not. Dude, the Mirage is going right to left. I was like, I have to hold right, and I missed off the right.
Yeah.
And then it was center the rest of the time. I just held center and hit all the rest, so I got an 11 out of 12. It's always painful when you miss your first one, and then it's like you're just playing the whole stage to make it up. So it's like I didn't feel bad at the end, but when you miss your first one, it kind of throws you off. It has the potential to throw you off your game, and this is where you want to like maintain the state of awareness, not thinking ahead or behind, just being in the moment and not letting it get to you.
Yep.
Yeah. Good on that stage. Any other learning lessons?
No.
Oh, this was a good one. I actually liked this stage. I happened to end up shooting it well, so I liked it. But the stage 8, the troop line.
Worst stage of the day for me.
Dude, it was cool when we got there because it's like all right up against the cliff edge. So there's like this grassy, sandy, rocky like hillside that leads up to the big cliff face. Yeah. And all the targets were either just below the edge of the cliff or up in the cliff. 5 targets, 2 shots each, 416, 588, 724, 821, and 998. And
yeah.
I don't know that any of us got the same wind condition.
No.
Except for maybe Zach. He just copied Seth's and then he did good. I'm just kidding. Literally none of us got the same wind condition. It's like I think Seth ended up holding right to left. Yeah. I held left to right on everything. Brent, I think he's held center on some of it.
No? I was 5/10 on the far side.
Oh, you were. Never mind. It's just like holding center is really hard when you're seeing Mirage, and that's what I held center. The middle target I held center. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up having to hold center on that thing. I dropped 1, pretty sure. And that was that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you do there?
I dropped 3 on that one.
You dropped 3?
Yep. Just had a hard time finishing. So the first target was starting a little to the left of your shooting position. So the wind was a little more of probably a quarter value maybe. And then as you went farther out in range, you came more in line with the flow of the wind. And so for me anyway, I was seeing way less wind out at 1,000 yards than I did at the 416-yard target. So believing that is what's going on, even though that's what's happening in your head, is just really tough to make the commitment to it. And that's really something that this kind of match makes you contemplate, is like how much are you willing to commit to your game plan when you do it, because you have to commit, because you don't have time really to change a whole lot. So you got to make a good game plan and commit to it. So
for sure, this was an interest. I remember on the first, I was like, I'm going to go 3/10 on the first target. I held 3/10, hit them both. I went to the second target and held 4/10, hit them both. And I'm like, well, as the math would shake out, like you'd think 5/10 on the next one, right? Nope, it was a straight up hold.
Yeah.
Yep, I held straight up and that was 724 yards, whereas I was holding 3/10 at 416 and at 724. And this is something to clarify when you're talking about, we have the mile per hour, but then the value of the wind, when we say a full value, that's a straight 90 degrees to the path of our bullet. We call that a full value wind. Seth was talking about a quartering, and it because it was coming over our left shoulder. sometimes over our right.
Yep.
And that's where you're playing. You have the mile per hour you're trying to figure out, but also how is that going to influence the bullet based off the angle? And for me, by the time I got the 724, I'd swung into the wind, so the wind was likely straight at my back, and you're getting maybe a little bit of spin drift. And even man, it was weird, because then I went to 821, and I think I hit with. I'm pretty sure I went back to 3/10 at 821. I was just feeling it hit, and then I think I was at 4/10 on 998. I don't remember exactly, but it's something along those lines.
Yeah.
You were holding right by the end, though.
Yeah, the last 2 targets I held right as center. And I just felt really good on that last target, and I sent 2 real quick, just because I just didn't want it to change, and yeah, they were both fine. Right as center. I was holding left when I started out, and then right at the far. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's wild about this is we all shot within 10 minutes of each other. Yeah. And the wind change is just so, it's like, you can't just make, especially on animals, you can never just make a decision on the wind and then just like once the opportunity presents itself, you just make that shot. It's a constant on the fly thing. And I was like, the mule deer Zach and I shot with the whole time while we're waiting for them to stand or get to where we need them to be. We're constantly talking about, is the wind up, down, nothing? Yep. Right? What angle? It's interesting. Especially when you shoot these matches, you really find out about that. All right, rectangles. How'd the rectangles go, Brent? Remember this stage? This is an interesting one too. It's stage 9.
Was this the horizontal and vertical one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it was from the pallet to the rock, back to the pallet.
Yeah.
Did you shoot laying on the pallet or on the back of it?
My chest was on the pallet. My legs were on the ground. Similar to Brent. I kind of like that better. And
I think I only dropped one, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Or cleaned it, one of them. I think I dropped one, though.
Yeah, I think we all shot that one pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was an interesting one too. Again, man, I just like these guys as course of fires. So you had 2 positions. One was on a pallet on the ground, straight prone. When the interesting thing is when you went on that, all your kind of reference markers out there, or your landmarks to find your targets, got kind of hidden by the sagebrush out in front of you. So you had to be pretty aware once you got down low on where you're going to be, what your references were that help yourself find targets. But so you got to choose either the top of a rock or the pallet, and you shot your first 4 shots from either of those positions. And then you move positions and you shoot your next 4 shots, and then you have to move back to your original position for your last target. And what was interesting, it was rectangles, and the first one was horizontal, next one vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. So to Zach's point, this was you get a little wind forgiveness on those horizontal ones, but you have to be dialed on your elevation.
Yep.
And then on the vertical, you're hoping that you got your wind figured out on the horizontal so that you can be good, because they were maybe 2/10 wide on some of those.
Oh, the vertical ones.
The vertical ones.
Yep.
They were not very wide.
Yeah, they were pretty skinny.
Yeah, you had to be within a 1/10 for sure. But I think we all cleaned it.
Pretty close.
I dropped 1.
You dropped 1?
Mm-hmm.
You do it?
I cleaned it.
You cleaned it? Yeah, I think I cleaned it. It was good. That was a fun stage.
I don't know. I felt like I was seeing trace really good today.
Were you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know if it was just me shooting the bigger bullet or it was just not windy and I could see it, but
Nice.
it was cool. The back half of the day, I definitely saw my shots better than I have in memory, at least.
Was that because the sun came out for a while? Was it after, and then we kind of got some cloud cover? Was it when the cloud was over that you were seeing it?
All of it.
All of it, the whole time.
Just
that's
every
impressive,
shot.
dude. That's
The
impressive.
whole match. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't win.
I saw it really well. I saw my bullet hit the target every single time. For some reason, they weren't calling impact. I don't understand. But yeah, that was, and we finished on the day on the PRS skills stage. And how good does everybody feel about the PRS skills stage today?
You did. That was a heartbreaker.
I cleaned it.
You cleaned it?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Why did you clean it? I didn't clean it, dude. That's terrible. I feel terrible.
Everybody else had a terrible stage, and Zach got a good one.
It was straight up 3/10 the whole, just ding, 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 ding.
Oh, man.
The wind changed for me.
Yeah, so the PRS skill stage, there's 4 positions, a standard PRS barricade, but they've updated the skill stage options. So there was a target at 400 and 500 yards, and you shoot 1 shot each from 4 positions, and then you repeat one of the first 3 positions. So it's a total of 10 shots, 5 positions. And yeah, I definitely I held from straight up to 0.3, and these targets were narrow. They're 8-inch circles at 400 and 500. You can do the math on how many MOA or mils that is, but they get pretty darn small when you're trying to move fast, and and you're trying to figure out what the wind's doing. And I fell off a few times. I think I got a 7 on it.
Yeah.
What'd you do on it, Seth?
I got a 5, I think. Not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell off the rails there.
Well, I think I watched you break a beautiful shot directly
Maybe somebody
above.
forgot to dial.
I did forget to dial on that
Yeah.
one, and then I had some wind problems. So
Yeah.
I didn't help myself as
Dude, I was like, that one was dead center,
Yeah.
just about 8/10 high.
Yeah, I knew right away. I was
Yeah.
like, God, I'm dumb.
Yeah. It was a good shot, though.
Yep.
Brent, how'd you do?
Bad. Like 6. No, it's just you'd hit 3/10, then you'd have to hit with nothing.
Yep.
Just drop off, pick up.
I watched you shoot, and it was I felt your
Well,
frustration.
I was having a hell of a time finding targets. It was terrible. I could find the first one, then should be right here. Oh no, keep going, then go too far, come back.
I struggle with finding target. I thought I was in timeout on the dang stage. We were having a good time. It was like, last stage of the day, kind of like ready to relax. We were chatting with Taylor from Night Force, and Seth came over and he's chatting. Anytime you start talking with him, you see it all chatty. And so all of a sudden, I was like, I did not take any target references. And I get up, once you get on the stage, I was like, where'd all those targets go that we were just looking at? I know where they're at in my binos, but I couldn't find them in my scope.
Yeah.
So,
See, that was the thing I did better today. Sometimes I'd actually be ready before Seth shot, and then when Seth shot, I'd just stand behind him and just like target acquisition as he was like shooting the stage, like in my head.
Yep. Yeah, you had that long troop line stage. You gave us some good. It was just good. There was a big white thing on the face, and
Yeah.
like you gave us some good
And
target
the little grass
markers.
was just kind of little scampering up the hill over there, right to the target.
Nice little yellow grass. Yeah, that was good. That's helpful. Sometimes people just see stuff a little bit differently. I'm like looking on the top of the cliff line, and Zach's like, you see the big white blob out there? Just look for that. And it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. That was a good idea. But yeah, it was all general. Overall, we all shot pretty good over the weekend. We had Brent talked about it earlier, where it's like it wasn't like we'd all consistently do bad on a stage. One guy would clean it, and then everybody else would suck, and then the next time it's like, oh, you'd clean it, and then everybody else. It was really interesting. We're all much closer together than we are apart.
Yeah.
But it's just funny how some stages will just eat your lunch, and everybody else does great on it.
If we were playing best ball, we would have won for sure.
For sure. All right, we're gonna start with Zach. What's your number one? What's your like key takeaway from this match?
Just, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about.
Okay,
that.
we're
Why
gonna
don't
come back to you,
me?
Seth. What's your key takeaway?
I think during adverse situations, it's really important to see and interpret what the issues are downrange. There was probably 2 or 3 stages that I got pretty dismal scores. One stage I got a 2 on, one stage I got a 4 on, where if I would have just probably slowed down just a touch, paid a little more attention to what I was seeing downrange, and made a little better decision based on that, based on what I saw downrange, I could have increased my score by 2 or 3 points. And if you just increase your score by 2 or 3 points, that's a 25% increase on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
And those little points matter. And it's just really hard I'm pretty good at it now, but I still have my moments where I don't make a good decision based on what I saw downrange when I'm in a hurry or when things are really coming off the rails. So, you just this match really, again, like I said, I'm pretty good at it, but this match kind of showed me that I'm not as good at it as I thought I was because it's a little more stressful. So just really paying attention to what's going on downrange and making a good decision based on what you're seeing. So
Nice.
Yep.
Brent, what do you got for us? Key takeaway.
Oh, it was just wasn't real pleased with my performance. Thought I did okay, but it was a big confidence booster, really. I mean, like you said earlier, I think a guy a bag and a bipod, you could have shot the whole match. That's all you needed, you know, and that's all you needed. I didn't use a tripod at all. So
You didn't run tripod,
we did on the
just the
cattle
cattle
panel.
gate. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And I might have done better with a bag, I think. But
Yeah,
no bipod. I don't
dude,
know.
that was the
I
wind
think-
was ripping
I
when we
know,
shot
but-
that thing. So
No, but it was, you know, it's been a bit since I shot a PRS match, and it was good though.
yeah, it's fun, right? Because like,
Yeah.
and I'll brag. I tried not to do this, but I'm gonna brag on Brent a little bit. Like he's won two of the biggest matches in the whole country. He's won the Night Force ELR with a 6.5-06 that he had to. I'm pretty sure he had to single feed it, and I'm pretty sure that it was not. We won't go into too much, but regardless, he's won that thing, and he's also won Mammoth Sniper Challenge, which is a pretty big deal. But I think he's always considered himself a more of a field shooter, and hasn't gravitated towards the PRS as much. But it was fun that he came out and shot with us, and he crushed all our souls yesterday. And it was cool to see that it's like that all his skills as a marksman apply in this thing. You're just like maybe a little bit different style of shooting. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Pretty fair to say. Yeah, he's just whatever it is. Like if you develop your skills as a marksman, execute good shots, be in the moment, and make good decisions, and it definitely applies across disciplines. And at the end of the day, we're all hunters trying to get better for hunting. Like the match thing's definitely really fun, but man, it makes us pretty deadly with a weapon in the mountains. So, Zach, what's your key takeaway?
I mean, I think as far as like my success or not success, time management was probably a really big thing for me. I mean, I bet I lost out on at least 10 points that I didn't even get to shoot because I timed out on stuff. And then, I mean, not having shot any matches or really practicing under time makes it tough to just like jump under the gun and perform at too high of a level when there's a timer going. And, you know, again, I think there's an experience thing there. If I really want to do well here, I should have just practiced more mock stages before the match, kind of be a little bit closer to ready, and then just gear familiarity. And, you know, like I fiddled with my bipod too much because I haven't been shooting, and just not being comfortable with the whole system. I mean, I feel like once I got my gun in a good position, I generally made good shots, you know, or saw my misses and was able to correct. There's always going to be some shots every match where you just don't understand why it went where it went. But for the most part, if I did what I was kind of supposed to, I generally shot well. It was just kind of like I said early on, I just kind of felt a little clunky. So, yeah.
Into the match, you felt fully tuned up to go shoot another one. Is that what you kept saying?
I mean, by the end of the match, I was ready to finally shoot the match. I was like, now if we could go into a 2-day starting tomorrow, I'd probably be feeling pretty good to actually, I think, have a higher expectation. I didn't have a high enough expectation, according to Jared, for what I wanted my result to be, but I just wanted to get in the top 20, and I did, so I was happy. But Jared, he said that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I came into this wanting the aim. Last time I shot this match, I was top 10. I wanted to be top 10, and I didn't make it. But trying to set a little loftier goals, you know, to aim for. In reality, we're not allowing ourselves enough time on the schedule to shoot enough matches to stay with the boys at the top. But yeah, I don't think any of us embarrassed ourselves at all.
I mean, a key takeaway is that any bears that are visible when we go hunting should be mildly scared.
Yeah. There still was not a single target that I saw any of you guys shoot that you were not scaring that target pretty darn good, right? Like there was no big misses. No. And then we watched a lot of other shooters where they're not even taking a bold attempt at the wind call, and they're missing by feet. And every single miss I saw of you guys was by inches. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And that's,
I think if they were all life-size elk, I bet we missed hardly any.
I doubt that.
Out of probably a collective, 840 or 50 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we would have missed.
We definitely would have wounded and hit some in less desirable positions, but I don't know if we would have missed hair a whole lot.
Yeah. and that's in some wild winds.
Yeah.
Wild winds. And most of the time when we get in those conditions, we're just going to get closer and have a really strong, confident shot inside of a couple hundred yards. But yeah, out to 1,100 yards, there was not a single shot that missed by much.
No.
Yeah, my key takeaway was mental game for sure. And I have a funny way of displaying it sometimes because I get fired up. But there's I try and get through my emotion quickly. Like if I'm getting frustrated with something, I try and get through it quickly so I could reset by the next one and get back into that state of awareness. Some guys call it flow state or just being in the present. If you're thinking about the past or the future or anything other than right now and making really good shots and staying focused, you only think about your last shot long enough to take whatever data away from it that you can, whether you miss the plate or you hit the plate or just trying to get back to center, and then you forget all about that. You don't think about cleaning the stage or anything, like you just stay in the moment. And that's what, if you do that, you build a good process and you stay in the moment, have good mental game, you're at the end of the day, you end up shooting fairly decent. And when that's whatever you do, archery or hunting or guns or whatever. So
Yep.
I think that was a pretty key thing. All right. Gear, everybody
But
likes
what did you think that you didn't do well mentally?
No, it's good. I think it's a learned skill is the thing. Like putting yourself in flow state or in awareness or whatever that is. It's a learned skill. This is only my second match in 2 years I've shot, and so I haven't really been exercising that muscle. It's definitely a muscle that you have to exercise, and I have not. But what was good was just like it was good to get out and exercise it and remember to trust the process. That when you do focus on that at the end of the day, like you're going to hit more than you don't. Right. And that's what I think that was the key takeaway, like trusting the process. I didn't shoot great yesterday and it kind of got a little bit better today. And again, like I definitely get fired up, but I try not to let that happen on the stage. Like while I'm in the moment shooting on the stage, while I'm on the clock, I try and stay in the moment. And then I let my emotion happen before and after that. Because I get fired up. That's just, I'm an emotional guy. I get fired up and I need to get that out. And it was good. It was pretty good. Yep. All right. The boys on YouTube like the gear talk. Okay. So now we're going to go back around. I'll let you guys all think about it for something, but key piece of gear. We already did one yesterday. What was the best piece of gear for the whole match after shooting 2 days out there? Zach, what you got?
I mean, I just like my OG MDT ACC chassis. I don't know. I just like that thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just easy for me I just like shooting it.
Yeah. Get along with it pretty good.
I'll just get along with it. And I've had the same chassis for, I guess, since I started shooting this kind of style match. I guess I had a KRG for a short period of time, but
no, you've been running that Stormtrooper gun for a while.
The old Stormtrooper. And it's just nice. I just like that thing.
Yeah, pretty flashy.
You like flashy everything guns. Else I could probably swap out, but the chassis I'd have to relearn some things. So I really like that chassis. I don't plan on changing that anytime soon.
Nice. Seth, what you got?
I mean, I like my +1 a lot. Obviously, I talked about that already, but another thing that I don't know if I take it for granted, but I moved from a Gen 2 razor to a Gen 3 razor, I don't know, like 2 years ago. And that's definitely was a huge upgrade in being able to see stuff downrange. And that's definitely something that I couldn't live without. There's a certain standard, I guess, if you will, of glass quality that really helps out. And you can get that in a lot of different places. But that's just for me. That's just what I use, and I really appreciate the.
You've been extremely consistent with you running that Vortex.
Yep.
The razors.
Yep.
And have all of them been the same reticle?
No, I started out with the EBR2C, which is a 1/2 mil. This was way before they even came out with the 7C reticles.
Okay.
Because I started using Vortex in like 2018, and so those were 1/2 mil, hash marks on the main stadia for windage, and then they came out with the 7C, and I don't remember. I used the Gen 2 razor for a long time, but I did upgrade from the 2C to the 7C, which got you 2/10 hash mark wind holds, which is way better. Gives you a little finer gradation to really narrow down your wind holds. And then like 2 years ago, I think it was 2.5 years ago, went to the Gen 3 Razor and the same EBR 7C reticle. And I think, kind of like what Zach's saying, I think when you get a piece of gear, it's just really important to learn that piece of gear and get comfortable with it. And every time you change something, it's gonna change your whole process. And there's something to be said for just sticking with what you know and trying to get comfortable with it and really learning it. So
nice. Yeah, and I think just that reticle discussion is man, your mind just learns to read it.
Yeah.
It's without thinking. You just know where 7/10 is. You know where 1.2 is, and you've been very consistent running that reticle and even the turret system, right? I know I come off my scope a lot more. I notice you stay in your scope while you're clicking, and you're just you probably count clicks, I would imagine, a lot of the time, and you're just very comfortable with that scope. So yeah, that consistency has served you really well.
Yep.
But Brent, what's your key piece of gear?
In this match, I'd probably have to say that +1 bought me more hits than, you use that more than any piece of gear in the whole match.
Yeah.
As far as tripod, bipod, a lot of stages were a one bagger. And I think I like my OG with that medium fill, I think it is. And I can get steady with it, but when the blood pressure's up, I think that it saves, that heavy fill, it takes it out of it. It's just, them are some small targets, and in some of those positions we're in, I got a lot more confidence now single bagging it.
Man, that +1 that you get your gun on there and that just settles that. You still need to execute good fundamentals, but definitely that helps for sure versus the bead style fills that kind of roll around a lot more.
Yeah, that was the single most you see guys changing gear all the time in PRS, you're trying to buy points basically. And that was the best money I ever spent. I got more points per dollar spent off of +1 than I did on any of my other gear, because it's it's $144 shipped to your door. Yeah, that thing it's money.
It's wild. And that grenade says,
I think there's only 3 stages we used a bipod on, maybe 4.
Really? Yeah, it was not. Bipods were not. I kind of set my rifle up to run with no bite, because a lot of times it's just get that thing out of the way. And I noticed you pulled it off every stage that you single bagged. Yeah. I pulled mine off too. Just get that thing out of the way and just single bag. It was kind of pretty nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why at the Three Forks matches, I just practice using a single bag all the time.
That's awesome.
It's a good habit to get into.
Yep. Yeah, there's a temptation always in the club matches when there's more time and whatever to run some type of rear support, but it's not benefiting you to increase your skill set.
Sure.
And definitely, I've noticed you just single bagging at all those matches, and then you come out to a national level match, and it's not something new that you're forced into. You're just really comfortable on it. So, yeah, I would say so. My key piece of gear would be so this has been. It's been a little bit just the change. I've had a lot of consistency. I've shot MPA stocks forever. There's the EVG, the enhanced vertical grip that I've shot for 2018 since 2018 or 2019. It's been a long time.
Yep.
And I was shooting the Matrix Pro from them, and I liked it because it has this fat fore end, and when it sets on a bag, it settles really nice. I really like that. But what I didn't realize the width of the thing. It's just when I go to grab it, especially on a match like this, it's just fatiguing for some reason. It's just a lot because our guns are heavy, and when I went to grab the thing, it was always the transitions were talk about clunky. It just didn't feel right.
Yep.
And so going to this ACC Elite from MDT, I've been I really like the feel of it. And I kind of took me a little bit, but it took me a little bit of practice at the range to really feel comfortable with it, just because I'd shot that. Just little nuances from the MPA to the MDT. It's just a little bit different. But this match, I was so happy with transitioning with that rifle being easier for me to grab. And man, you could drop that thing on, especially with the +1, you drop that thing on a bag and it was so rock solid. It might as well have been prone.
Yeah.
A stabler than prone. Sometimes when I was using prone or modified prone with a bipod, I was not as stable as single bagging.
Yeah.
I really come to be really comfortable on that chassis, and I was super stoked on it this weekend. So I'd say say that was it. I'll shoot this chassis for a long time. So, yeah, then went to the Ward's Banquet, got some good tacos, saw some people, saw a dog that I was not happy about.
Dude.
Dude with the big bulldog and anybody else that treats their dogs like kids, if your dog jumps up and bites somebody, it's not playing. It's not okay.
Dude.
This fella had a giant bulldog with his
One and a pit bull?
whatever that was. I think it might have been an American bulldog or a pit bull,
yeah.
something
I
like
don't
that.
No, I don't. I think it was a bulldog. I don't
Yeah.
think it was a
Okay.
pit bull.
Yeah,
But
it was
giant
huge,
dog.
huge.
Looked like it roided up, and this dude's probably in his 50s, he's a grouchy old man, and you could see that he just couldn't stop petting that dog, and this dog jumped up and tried to bite a guy, or successfully bit him, got a hold of his leg, and he's trying to say that he's just
Playing.
Just playing.
He's playing with him.
It's like, dude, that's unacceptable, man.
Well,
You need to get
if
him out
that's
of there.
playing, then it's still unacceptable. Either
Yeah,
way, he bit
not
the dude.
okay. Bit the dude. And then he sat there with it, and he was mad at me because I told him he needed to get his dog out of there, and he thought that I was the jerk all of a sudden.
He should have left with it. Dude, if your dog does that, your dog needs to leave the building like ASAP.
Yeah.
I didn't
There was kids
see it.
running around?
I just
Yeah.
kind of heard it and turned, so I didn't really have much to say about it. And I heard Jared going off, so I just was like straight ahead, just
Yeah, I was
seeing what was gonna come because Jared was fired up.
I have a really hard time with people that treat their dogs like humans. They are not humans. Just because you like their personality and you have whatever, you like petting them and stuff, when you bring them around other people, if they are aggressive, if they are growling, and especially if they bite at somebody, you are a bad dog owner. You are bad. Your dog is not bad. You are bad. Well, I actually hate your dog too. You should put your dog down if it bites people, but you are bad. So if you guys want to have more discussions about dogs and bad dogs, we got a lot of them in Bozeman.
Yeah.
It's gonna make some people mad, but we got a lot of bad dog owners.
dogs.
Yeah.
Let their dogs off a leash and like going around biting and jumping on people, dude. Like, you need to learn to train your dog, especially that guy, that old man that was there. I think he was on RO, whatever he was. Like, I appreciate you ROing, but I don't appreciate you bringing your dog and letting them bite people and not doing something about it, because you look like a weak little boy that can't handle a dog. So, sorry, that's me being fired up for a minute. But everybody feeling good?
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we're
accurate.
on our way. We're about to come up on Pocatello and heading back from Montana. Thanks for watching along. And again, if you guys have any comments, questions, if you like this stuff, let us know. We'll do some more of it. Thanks, guys.